Well, as we start off the day, finally, what looks to be a dry picture in Monroe. This is a first for quite some time here in the region. Still a lot of cloud, though, and don't think that it's all over. It's not. There's still more rainfall to come, unfortunately. I wish that I could say that this would be the last time that we look at raindrops on the tower cam for quite some time, but that's probably not going to come for at least a day or two. As we look at these watches and warnings throughout our area, big thing we're still talking about, flash flood warnings throughout the region, not to mention a flash flood emergency until noontime. That'll be here for Washita Parish in the city of Monroe. This is a very serious situation, especially in the flash flood emergency region where high water rescues are still occurring. As Aaron Cantrell said in his live hit earlier, over 40 people have been helped out by the National Guard in these high water rescues by the use of boats and high water vehicles. Again, flooding is still ongoing throughout the area. Even though the rains have begun to subside, it's still a very serious situation. Yesterday, that's the reason for it, 10.87 inches of rain. That is an all-time record ever in terms of rainfall for midnight to midnight rainfall for any day, any month of any year at Monroe Regional Airport. Areas in Ruston, 8.43 inches. There definitely saw excessive rainfall. That's possibly an all-time record for them. I don't have as comprehensive of records for their region, at least on hand. I would have to look that up to see if that is an all-time record. I'm almost sure that it is. 9.8 inches in Natchitoches. That's probably an all-time record as well. 2.04 inches in El Dorado did set a daily rainfall record for them yesterday. And we talk about 2 inches of rainfall being excessive in our region throughout the area. So, I mean, if you think about that, 10 inches is just unfathomable. It's definitely something that is very rare anywhere in the country. In fact, doesn't really normally happen very often with extratropical cyclones. And normally it happens with tropical cyclones more like, but this is not a tropical cyclone by any means. We've already seen 2.5 inches of rainfall in Tallulah today. The heavy rainfall looking to come over towards their region. Flash flood warnings in effect for them. Flash flood warnings in effect for most of our viewing area. More rain on the way, crossing the I-49 corridor, about to impact portions of Wynn Parish and LaSalle Parish. So we're definitely seeing areas that haven't seen a lot of rainfall starting to be impacted by more rainfall. And even behind this batch of rain, there's still more rainfall down to our south here in a band down by Lake Charles, which is forecast to move into our region as well. And that's likely going to set up over the eastern portions of the viewing area before it moves out of the region later on this afternoon. Futurecast kind of giving us a good look at this. A lot of the rainfall, I think the heaviest rainfall, setting up along a band between Vicksburg and Jackson and then slowly moving away. But as you notice, we are starting to actually see tapering on the backside. So our rainfall will be widespread today. It'll be at 100%, but it won't be as heavy as it was yesterday. In fact, some of our mesoscale models are thankfully not showing numbers that are really all that high for the region today compared to what we've seen in the past. It's still staggeringly high in terms of what daily rainfall normally is, but I think over the next couple of days we're likely only going to see about another 2 to 4 inches throughout most of our area. I think the mesoscale report of 6 inches by the RPM may be just a little bit high for 48-hour rainfall, but again, with multiple thunderstorms over the same area, it's not out of the question. Our 7-day forecast showing the rain finally tapering off by Saturday and Sunday. And here's a few more viewer photos for you. Some of these you may have already seen in earlier newscasts, especially our severe weather alerts. This coming in from Cheryl Harrington in El Dorado. This outside of our viewing area, but just look at how badly I-20 has been affected. This coming from an overhead view, thanks to the Webster Parish Sheriff's Office. Just staggering amounts of rainfall in some spots. Our Target parking lot here in Monroe, completely flooded the other day. Thanks to Dan Brunson for sending that in. And Lakeisha Johnson at Millhaven Estates showing us pictures that she sees right in her area. And again, it's just very heavy rainfall overall. A flash flood emergency remains in effect throughout the viewing area. Flash flood warnings remain in effect for a lot of the viewing area as well. And again, that's something that you just want to stay out of. We've got more in the way of closures coming up in just a little bit.